So hi everyone, today in this video we're gonna develop another mental model that so obviously can be helpful for you because mental models are like representations so about how the reality works, and so as much you kind of grasp information about how the reality works, better you so gonna understand the reality, and then so you can predict better the outcomes that the decisions that you're gonna do, which so ultimately can help you so to take the best decision possible, knowing what you can expect of what so can be the feedback by you doing that specific behavior. So it's here that kind of leaves the importance, the reason for why we should study mental models is information, and then so obviously as information that we like to grasp, we should also pay attention, and it's so where the motivation is created to you see this video. And obviously I help you to as well following that certain type of promise that I've been made till now. I've made so as well other videos talking about other mental models that so can multiply the value that just one cannot provide to you. So I would expect you to subscribe and afterwards so seeing other videos to grasp so even more information. And then so today what we're going to talk, it's the innovators dilemma. So navigating disruptive innovation, putting the perspective so people that create innovations that are so obviously person human beings, and then so we're going to talk about the perspective that they tend to have towards innovation, and this so how we can influence and start the creation of new innovations. And then so today the first type of thing that we should start to understand this mental model is by doing so a question. So ever wonder why industry giants suddenly falter even when they seem unbeatable? So when someone is static, someone seems strong, but when happens innovation or something, or in like in a quick type of terms, in terms of time, we see them fall like a skyrocket. And then so we're gonna try to understand it, and this obviously is a pattern that tries to explain it. That is so the innovator's dilemma. And then so we're gonna using some examples to illustrate, and then so how you can enjoy it in your favor or try to avoid if it's something that can happen to you. So the definition, the innovator's dilemma is a concept that was introduced by Clayton Christensen that explains why successful companies often fail when new disruptive technologies emerge. Despite excelling in their current markets, they miss opportunities because they focus on sustaining innovations that cater to their existing customers. So the reality is that what could be like the core idea of this is that the dilemma arises because companies by design they invest in technologies that promise higher margins and cater to current market demands, leaving disruptive innovations which initially target niche segments underexplored over the time. So these disruptive innovations improve and eventually capture mainstream markets, rendering established players obsolete. So the tendency of a giant to kind of be in inertia that they just focus like in mainstream type of markets in the current market they are present, and they don't try to proliferate. They just consume a market, just a specific niche. And the reality is that resources are limited. The people exist some type of exists a limitation about how people have in terms of budgets. And then so if I just explore always the same niche, can reach a time then they will not so provide that much type of revenues that they were so in the past, because as whatever is the cycle exists always the initial phases, a phase of growth and maturity, and a phase so of decline. And then so that's why we call so and we praise so a lot the diversification. We like so the people to diversificate. We share you so reach a point that you have so much that probably to protect you should explore so your resources for a lot of people that if one of the fails we have all other ones that you have been diversificating them, so you don't suffer with the fail or with that attrition that happens when we kind of serve and have contact with some gap of people during the time enough so to create this attrition. And then so that's a reason for why sometimes the people and this type of main type of business that are already so static, and they're so like even seem like they cannot like fall from the powerful share, because they have so been present in for a long time enough so to be declared as a powerful type of company. But reality is that what happens? What are the inefficiencies where that happens when so exist just like these big companies? They don't explore so the small niches, and small niches can be so the competitive advantage where the startups can so they found. They can found that the competitive advantage. So what is a competitive advantage? If so when I offer something with a better value or at low cost in comparison with other ones, it's my ability to do it. And then so it's normally so these underexplored type of niches, then so I start building my basis, and then so this comes for the masses, which so already are so the ones that initially were the main type of consumers of the big ones type of companies, but then so they start going but basing in all the friction, people are moved by curiosity, and then so they explore the new type of things that happens, the new type of startups, which so makes the market share of the big ones lows. And then so by normally when something grows so much, then they need like bureaucracy to control it, and then so they're not able to make a shift about the emergence of new concurrences, which so brings them to fall. So I could say that it is like a representation, a pattern that we have seen, and then so by understanding it, by exploring that is something that happens a lot of times, the reality is then so what we can understand. We can understand by using as well like good examples from the reality. So like Kodak and digital photography. Kodak, once a powerhouse in film photography, failed to embrace digital cameras despite pioneering the technology. Their focus on protecting the film business led to missed opportunities, and eventually the company saw decline. Blockbuster versus Netflix. So Blockbuster dominated the movie rental market for decades, but ignored the potential of online streaming. So Netflix, starting as mail order DVD service, shifted to streaming and disrupted the market, leaving Blockbuster behind. The PC industry as well, many traditional computer companies struggled with the shift from desktop PCs to mobile devices, as they were slow to adapt to disruptive changes in consumer technology. So, sustaining versus disruptive innovation. Sustaining innovation, these are incremental improvements that enhance the performance of existing products for current consumers. Big companies, they tend to excel here, but we have so disruptive innovation. So these innovations initially underperform compared to mainstream products, but offer unique advantages like lower costs or great convenience that appeal to a new consumer base. As they evolve, so they eventually disrupt and redefine the entire industry. So it's are the patterns that we mainly see in tech. Why is a dilemma? So leaders in established companies are kind of caught between serving their current profitable markets and investing in new technology that might cannibalize their own business. Often the safe choice is to ignore disruptive until it's too late. So these the patterns already described. We have gave so examples in real life. Then so now strategies to overcome the innovation dilemma if I'm in that position. So embrace dual strategies. Companies should create separate divisions for sustaining and disruptive innovations, ensuring that new ideas are nurtured without being so stiffed so by existing business models. Invest in emerging technologies. So even if disruptive products seem underwhelming at first, allocate resources to explore their potential. Early investments can position a company ahead of the curve as the technology matures. Cultivate the culture of experimentation. So it's facilitating doing in disruptive type of technologies. And how you do it? Creating motivation, not creating punishment if the people experiment. So cultivate a culture of experimentation, providing resources so to disruptive technologies grow. So embrace tool strategies, creating divisions for this type of disruptive technologies, investing putting money, providing resources to them build something good, new, and stay always customer centered, because whatever is incremental or whatever is so disruptive, the goal is always providing the same value for the consumers. And then so you always, depending if it's disruptive technology that you're creating or a one that is more like incremental, stay consumer centric. So pay attention to undeserved or emerging consumer segments. Disruptive innovations can be because they often begin by catering to niche markets before so the ones that tends to be underexplored. And what is useful so is disruptive technology often so began by catering to niche markets before expanding. Identifying these shifts early is a key. So I expect this video as make you gain a certain type of insights. I expect you now to as well, if you have not done yet, subscribe, and then so put a like, obviously, so give us some help, and obviously so subscribe, and obviously to in order to cultivate even more so your position. I expect so you as well to subscribe and otherwise see other videos. So see you in the next one.